Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel for another pick a card tarot card reading all about is this connection worth fighting for? So obviously this is your specific person in mind, but get yourself into a receptive mode. If you need to know how to do that, I have a video linked down below as always on how to pick a card, so make sure you check that out first and foremost. But once you are in your receptive mode, make sure you pick your pile. We have group 1, group 2, and group 3. Timestamps will be provided below as always. I'll see you at your time. Hey group 1, let's get started with your tarot card reading all about is this connection worth fighting for your person? So let's place your cards and get started. We have Scribe and then we have Artist as well to get us started. And then for your Astro cards, we have Neptune, Square, and then Jupiter. So right away, I do feel like with this connection, you guys are struggling to see eye to eye with each other. There is this energy of somebody who is very much in tune with their spiritual energy, maybe perhaps trying to explain that to somebody that is more intellectual based. Yeah, I guess it's kind of a conflict between two different kinds of spirituality, because you have this Neptune, which is, it's like oneness spirituality. And then you have Jupiter, which is more so about, you know, your higher self and doing what's best for you, you know, and these are two dimensions of spirituality and both of them are necessary. But for whatever reason, I mean, with this square here, there's obviously conflict. And when I pulled these two cards out, they both came in reverse, which tells me that the shadow attribute is the most prevalent coming out. So for the Scribe, it says altering facts or plagiarizing others' work. And then Artist, using talent as an excuse to mistreat others, posing as a starving artist to the illicit pity. So right away, I just feel like you guys may not be, I don't know, I think right now in this point in time, I don't think you guys need to be working on this relationship as much as you need to be working on yourselves and getting clear on what you have going on personally, because this is a lot of an outward influence that's like trying to make a bigger name for itself than what I think it's able to right now. Because like I said, with it being those shadow attributes being kind of highlighted here, I just feel like there is some, I don't know, there's more clarity for you to gain around what you're trying to convince this other person of, or vice versa, if they're trying to convince you of something. Like, there's more to this story here than what I feel like you guys are originally picking up, especially because the Scribe is a very like intellectual student type energy. But you know, the whole Ape of Thoth kind of comes to mind here, is like, if you don't really understand the actual essence, the emotional essence of something, you could be teaching somebody something that isn't, you know, 100% what they need. It's losing that essence here. Same with this Artist energy. So for me, it's just like this person isn't getting what you're putting down, or you're not getting what they're putting down. And it's almost better to just kind of leave this situation for a moment with all of this energy here, just kind of, I don't know, insinuating that it's like you need to focus on your own path. And like I said, get clear on the things that you are learning before you try to teach them to another person. And I feel like you guys are both at a very spiritual, like, climax point right now in your journey, where it's like things are just not clear enough for both of you guys to make it clear and stable, and I think work in the way that you want it to work. And I think that, you know, that can be a little, I don't know, like unnerving to hear at times, because I think you really feel something deep within that you have to be doing and sharing, but I think it's a lot more personal than how it is coming out, because there's so much confusion about like what you're supposed to be teaching other people, when in reality, like I said, I think the more you get clear on the lesson that you know and like what you have taught yourself over time, that's going to make things a lot easier for this connection. But if you don't even know what your vision is, I don't think you can share it. And that is kind of the biggest lesson that you're learning right now in this relationship and through this time. I really appreciate this though, because I think both of you guys are, like I said, coming from a place of wanting to learn this type of stuff, but it just comes from two different places. So trying to push those two together it's harder than what it looks. But I think that, you know, this connection might come back through at a different point in time and prove to be more relevant. But there's some things that need to kind of close up and situate themselves, I think, before you guys are really ready to embark on this new journey together. But let's see what we have more for our tarot cards here. We have the Four of Cups. Yeah, that's what I was saying, like not being able to really receive what's been given to you, because you have so much already on your plate that you can't accept anymore. You know, you're at full capacity is what I'm hearing. So when you're at that kind of stage in your journey, what do? You know, you have to take time for yourself, hold back for yourself. All of the fours in tarot have a lot to do with preserving your own sense of well-being and security first before you decide to embark on a more challenging experience. And I feel like that's kind of what this relationship is showing up for you as maybe, put this on the back burner and figure other things out first before you try to come back and deal with this type of energy here. Oh my God, yep, we have the Lovers in reverse. So exactly, yeah. I don't think this connection is ready right now. There's things that you need to learn for sure. Yep, with that 8 of Swords, 9 of Swords, 8 of Swords, sorry, in reverse. Yeah, this is like that lesson that you need to be learned and kind of get yourself out of this clouded, confused position, because as much as you may think that another person is coming off that way, I think you are just as confused. And that other person kind of shows you that. But then we have the 8 of Pentacles. Yeah, I mean, this is just completely confirming what I've already said, just making sure that you're working on yourself and like refining your craft, refining your mindsets in the way that you're connecting with people and getting as clear as you can, because Neptune and Jupiter both have this energy of, like I said, vastness, openness, oneness. So the Lovers here being representative of like Gemini energy being in reverse shows me that there is a personal kind of openness that you don't have right now that is actually what is needed to have, relationships that work for you and work for the information that I think you're getting. But like I said, like there's a certain closed offness I think you are spiritually being pushed to kind of embody and figure out, so you can figure out things that have been getting in the way of you seeing your vision clearly, because it's not this other person as much as it might seem. I feel like this person, when it says like using talent as an excuse to mistreat others, I feel like sometimes you guys, because you both have higher minds but they come from two different places, I feel like it's like purposely misunderstanding each other because you have different beliefs almost. And it's like, it's a lot more similar than I think you guys recognize it as. Like, I think you guys both actually have pretty similar beliefs, but they just, like I said, they stem from two different like types of your mind and your energy and almost the essence. Like I said, like one person has like all of the like very rational, obvious like answers to things, while somebody has more of the essence to those answers, which I believe is just more telling in this situation, and it will help you, like I said, just get clear on things that you're not clear on and help you relate to people in ways that you have had trouble relating to people in the past, because it's not definitely been easy for you guys in the past. But I think for sure that this connection, it's going through a cycle that is helping it be a stronger connection, even if it's not this connection in the future. Obviously this is a general reading, so maybe these shadow attributes are not something that your person specifically can overcome, but they do show attributes in yourself that you can overcome. We all like to mirror each other all the time, so I think this can help you. Baby, like I said, just get clear. Get clear is the biggest thing here, and just know exactly where you're coming from so it doesn't cloud your judgment on where other people are coming from too, because it's another thing with this Neptune square Jupiter energy that you can see here is kind of blending of belief systems when you guys are together, but when you're apart, you're like, oh snap, I actually didn't want to do that. I actually had a better idea of how to handle this situation that I wasn't able to really explain properly because I didn't have the space for it. Like I said, it's like an emotional, mental, physical, whatever capacity that this person or you deals with that they can't take anymore until they figure out what they already have. So let's pull you guys some more cards though to dive into some more like underlying themes of like this relationship, because like I said, this connection, it's not like blatantly like it's not worth fighting for, but I think it's more worth fighting for yourself and how you're being understood in this connection, because that's actually what the lesson of this connection is. It's a lot less about each other and the other person as much as it is like, what can you do to grow from this? But we have insects, reptiles. So with this, it makes me feel like you guys have a bigger vision to work with that I think it's, like I said, it's going to be easier for you to do kind of on your own and through figuring out your own energy, because this says, having a largely negative undertone to a symbolic change. So I feel like there's like this really negative feeling about what you're dealing with, but it's because it wants you to draw back your energy a little bit and realize that like you don't need to put your energy into places that it's not appreciated. Oops, sorry, my camera just died real quick, but going back to what I was saying, you don't want to put your energy in places that it's not appreciated because it's wasted, and that makes me think of that with this whole insects and reptiles energy, because very particular people choose to, have these as pets, and it's like you have to know how to love and care for certain things and really understand them, like I was saying. And I just feel like you know, that's kind of where you're at right now, is you're trying to understand things that you need to understand before you're able to get other people to understand them and to love them, you know, and appreciate them too. But I think there, like I said, is this kind of negative undertone to try to get you to understand that, you know, you need to kind of retreat from this situation and maybe, like I said, learn the lessons as they're coming up to you. And maybe sort out the energy too, because this also does talk about a certain coldness and rationality that you need to take, a certain like strategy almost, that I feel like is maybe against your better nature. Because like I said, there's this oneness energy, spiritual energy, that if that's more of your scene, it's going to be a lot more challenging, I think, for you to kind of, you know, hit your mark where you want to with this Jupiter energy, because there's so much of you just being kind of confused by other people's influences and feeling like you need to kind of set them straight and get them to see what you're trying to convince them of that just is not going according to plan right now. But I feel like now we have accidents, so I feel like, you know, this is like a happy accident for you. Like this relationship kind of going off its kilter is what I'm hearing, is like it's a blessing in disguise for you, because I just feel like there was some things that were definitely giving you a negative boost of energy towards, I don't know, more confusion basically. Like it was not helping you actually feel confident in yourself. And if anything, it was kind of getting you, like I said, like off kilter or whatnot. So I just feel like for you guys going forward in this connection, it's important that you choose to learn more about yourself and what your body is telling you in this time, and just kind of the little subtle hints that your energy is kind of picking up on, and, you know, use that for your own benefit and like learn more about it, you know, take those into consideration and, you know, turn them from this idea that you have, either this abstract idea into a more concrete idea, or a more concrete idea into an abstract idea. I feel like that's kind of the energy that you need to be focused on right now. And then, you know, maybe this connection comes around in the end. Obviously, like I said, it's a general reading, but I just feel like you're going to have to get yourself out of your head and just kind of out of your own way before you're actually going to have the kind of connection in this connection that you want, if that makes sense. So group 1, I hope this message resonated for you guys, and if it did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, and of course subscribe to my channel for more intuitively channeled messages from me. But if you guys would like extra pick a card readings or personal readings from me, check out the link below to my Instagram or Patreon for that. Otherwise, I'll skedaddle and I'll see you in a little video. Bye. Hey group 2, let's get started with your tarot card reading, all about, is this connection with your person worth fighting for? So diving into your cards, let's see what we got. We have Martyr, we have Child Nature, and then for your Astro cards, we have Aries, Libra, Opposition. That's funny because Libra and Aries are actually naturally in opposition. Love that. So right away, I do feel like this connection is worth fighting for, because it is showing you parts of yourself that you need to like resurrect and bring back out into your personality. I feel like, you know, as we grow older, there's a lot of things that we just, I don't know, we learn social expectations. We learn what works for us and what doesn't work for us to get what we want and to, you know, be who we want to in this world. And over time, you know, we gain these kind of rigid edges with these expectations of how we're supposed to act and how other people are supposed to act, that it becomes, I don't know, like we almost, like I talk about this a lot, we just write off parts of our personality or qualities of ourselves that don't meet those expectations. And that's the axis, you know, that I see of Libra and Aries, Libra and Aries, I should say, because Aries is this individual. It's actually much like this child nature energy where it's like, I am one with this universe and I can, you know, establish myself outside of that though, because of, you know, that oneness that provides me with support to kind of do whatever I want to and be courageous and an individual. But at the same time, like I said, you have that Libra energy that is that social norm, that is that, you know, social expectations, somebody that is very well at being liked by other people, you know, and that's not always Aries energy, because Aries can be, like I said, more bold and in charge and in their own energy. But Libra can be this martyr energy where it's like, I'm learning to transcend nature of service to oneself or for a cause, you know, trying to give up a little bit of your personal energy to kind of meet a group standard or a personal standard. So that being said, I do feel like you guys may have this kind of Libra Aries axis within your relationship where it's like somebody is a lot more in their own energy, doing their own thing, while somebody else is, you know, more accommodating. And I feel like with that duality, you guys learn from each other how to be more like each other. For example, like this Aries moon energy, like I said, is somebody that's a trailblazer. They're diving into things. And for somebody who is in this martyr energy, or more that Libra energy of accommodating to other people, it can almost seem rude to them when they see this Aries energy. But if you actually change your mindset a little bit and realize that it can balance you out, this opposing side, and it's up to you honestly to see that. Like, I'm not going to be able to convince you about the value of this. That's something that you have to see for yourself here with this Libra energy. But I just feel like you can empower yourself. Having this martyr and the Aries next to each other, I was like, oh, it's kind of funny because this goes with this and this goes with this, so shouldn't I flip them? But it's like, no, like these are coming together. These are fusing and being blended together. So yes, this connection is definitely worth fighting for, because, in situations where you feel stuck and feel disempowered, and like it says, addiction to self-pity, just like you can't do what you need to do because you're stuck to these standards, Aries comes through and says, no, you can do what you want to do. You can stand up for yourself and be courageous and, own your shit, basically. And, that's not martyr energy by any means, but that is the answer to martyr energy. And where Libra here, like I said, is like this energy of, I have to be perfect and flattering, and everybody has to view me as, somebody that they can help out, so I get the help that I need, like it's a very codependent energy. Not all Libras or anything, but just Libra energy can be very codependent, because it does counterpart normally with this Aries energy who will do all the work. So, these are kind of a yin and yang that, it can work as two, a divine masculine or a divine feminine if you want to go in that route or something. But if you realize more of that, they're inside out versions of each other. And the more that you can strengthen that duality, the more that you're able to get the full picture and the full energy, on its highest kind of consciousness. So I feel like that's kind of what happens here with this child nature energy, with getting with the Libra. It's like, you have a friend in me, is kind of what the universe kind of gives you here, is like, you don't have to worry so much about this, because like what I said, Aries knows that they are friends with the universe. They have this whole world to work with and to, I don't know, just like I said, use at their fingertips. And I feel like child nature, like that's the energy of somebody who is willing to, mutilate and change around their environment to work for them and to, their enjoyment too. Because like this whole child nature energy does give me a lot of enjoyment with the Libra too. So I just feel like this relationship does have a lot to gain on both sides of the spectrum, that if you really paid attention to what this person is teaching you instead of maybe getting annoyed or feeling pitied by it, I feel like like I said, there's just so much to be gained here, because you might be in more of this Libra energy of giving your power away, in certain situations, or, other situations where you're too hard-headed and you don't give any power to anybody, where it's just like all you. I mean, these are things that you can totally be balanced out by the opposing energy. And I love that here, because I mean, this is very true to like what I teach on my channel in general. So I like this a lot. I feel like you guys do have a lot to gain from each other about your own inner spirit and connection to the world around you, and what you can really do with that. Because the martyr here is a lot like this child nature energy, where it knows that connection to oneness, but instead of feeling empowered by it to be able to do what you want to do and to create the things you want to create, you're more so like tied to the service of all of these things that are already set in stone, But like I said, there's like a graciousness that you're learning to have through this other person that I just feel like you won't be able to get it anywhere else. Or if you did kind of move on from the situation, I feel like you would just find somebody else that emulates the same kind of energy. So this is definitely a lesson kind of reoccurring for you guys. So I feel like this connection definitely is worth fighting for right off the get-go. But for more information, we have the 5 of Pentacles. This is what I was saying about feeling like you don't have enough, but you can do something with it. This is Mars and Scorpio energy. And Mars and Scorpio is, very good at losing everything, but then making something out of that, because there's a strength to be gained from, not identifying with certain things and certain values and certain opinions. And I feel like that's kind of where this energy comes from, and that Aries energy that shows up. So no matter, like I said, if this is you or them, I feel like, there's a little bit within both of you, though, that is trying to show up here in this connection. And that's why it's so worth fighting for. But the 2 of Swords here just shows that, like I said, there's this balance you're trying to find within yourself that like I said, you're being very spiritually, intuitively guided to this. That's why you're probably even here listening to this, is because like, you need to know that what you're being handed right now is some spiritual help. It's something that is going to help you level your own space so you can get more and more things. Because like I said, this is the energy of kind of lost and not really knowing where to go from there, but just going forward because you have no other options. So when you realize what kind of options you're actually being presented with and, knowing how to do something with them, I feel like this relationship can really start to take off. Absolutely, literally. Ace of Pentacles. I might as well just put the rest down. We have Strength in reverse and Ace of Wands. So 2 aces here. So you guys really do have new things to kind of form together. But I do feel like it takes some kind of personal insinuation, You have to accept the moments that are like, hey, you need to be courageous here and, see the other side, basically, is what I'm getting. And, that's kind of what makes this connection worth fighting for. It's not so hard-headed, I feel like, too, because with the Strength being in reverse, this shows a very, like, easy breezy, like, everything is being handed to you in this connection, and you just need to know how to use it in a way that isn't overbearing. Because I feel like, you may get, I don't know, I feel like you guys may get some information that you're like, oh, I need to like handle this. I need to take care of business and whatnot. Like I said, like this polarity between here, because you want to take care of it because it's not up to standard, but then you're realizing, oh, I don't need to necessarily take care of this as much as I need to understand it and see what it's offering me, and see that it's offering me a new path and a new option for me to handle things in a different way. Because I don't know, I feel like you guys may be a little bored too right now in your life. Like you're doing the same old thing and like you're just not winning. So then, when you're like, okay, life, I want some spice, and, they hand you some spice, but you're, like I said, the one that has to take the opportunity. But if you're not the one seeing it, you can't really take it. So that was a side note, but like I said, like this connection is worth fighting for. So maybe having a change of mindset will be kind of what gets you there. So for more cards, also I have Don't Fucking Force It. Allow that shit to come to you, as well as don't believe every shitty thought you have. Yeah, so this to me, like what I was saying, is like you can't take something that you've already assigned as being one thing and then make it something else, I feel like. And that's what is kind of showing up here, is it's like, don't force this connection to work in the way that you want it to work. Allow it to work in the way that it is allowed to work, Like there's a very much an intuitive answer to this question that you have, even if it's deeper than like, is this connection worth fighting for? I think it's more so, it's not about fighting for it as much as it is letting it do what it needs to do for you. Because it says, don't believe every shitty thought you have. So like I said, I feel like you guys just get really like, it's like a coarse energy, like Libra is like the pretty girl sitting in the corner, like, doing everything right, legs crossed, sipping with her pinky up. And then Aries comes in here, this 500-foot Neanderthal that's like, blah, 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 like we need to do things this way, blah, 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 blah. And like Libra's going to be like, how dare they act like that? They're so harsh. They're so coarse. How dare they? But it's like, I don't know if you should believe that thought necessarily, Libra, because I feel like, if you are this Libra energy, or, place it as you need to, but I just feel like you shouldn't believe, like I said, this idea that things need to be this socially acceptable way, because I don't think that's the lesson out of this connection. Honestly, I think that's you're forcing your own opinion. If you're, like I said, I feel like you may be more of this Libra energy, so if you're more accommodating and nice, and then somebody else is just kind of more like brash and ruthless in your eyes, I feel like they're not actually like that. They're probably just, they're more assertive, honestly. They're more like individualized, and they're okay with just making an impact, where Libra's not always like that. But Libra will convince themselves that they have to be like that. They have to be this appropriate 100% PC person all the time. But I think that don't believe every shitty thought you have is kind of part of that, where it's like, have the strength to stand up for yourself and to, you're not forcing things necessarily, but like you're impacting the situation. You're asserting yourself. And that's something that you have to learn how to do in order to take, these helpless situations into something that isn't helpless. If you're bored and you have nothing to do, get up and do something, don't just sit there and be like, I'm bored, blah, blah, blah. And I just feel like that's kind of the energy of this connection, is really learning how to use your own energy for good and not complain about how other people might be doing it, because I feel like that also kind of shows a little bit of jealousy that you might have, or they might have, in this connection about, being able to use your energy in the appropriate way. And this, I find a lot happens with spiritual energy and, you know, with this martyr and child nature, like I said, like having this really wise spiritual connection of being, you know, do unto others as you have them do to you and vice versa. I mean, those are all great lessons to know, but they can impede you from actually getting the things that you want. They can kind of step in your way if you try to abide by all these rules and be the person that doesn't step on anybody's toes, because it's like, really, I feel like you're not actually doing that, you know? And this whole don't force it thing is not so much about, you know, saying that anybody's forcing it. It's about, you know, you may be forcing it in a passive way, you know? Like your mind space is in this place where it's like, this needs to work out how it is in my mind. You know, this is a Moon and Libra card. So this to me very much says that of like, I want things to work out how I want them to work out. And I might not even tell anybody that, you know, so at the same time, you know, as you're not trying to force it, there is like this passive forcefulness to you because you want things a certain way, but you're not even allowing yourself to assert yourself to get them, you know, having that strength to be like, all right, I'm going to take care of business and take things together. So like I said, I feel like this relationship is worth fighting for, but not fighting for it in a way that you like may have thought that you had to. Like, I feel like you're trying to get the situation on the same level ground, but this situation actually trying to level you up. So, you know, take that as it resonates for you guys, because I feel like there is a lot for you to learn here about yourself and your own power. So group 2, I hope this message resonated, and if it did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, and of course subscribe to my channel for more intuitively channeled messages. But if you would like more from me, check out the link below for my Patreon or Instagram for that. Otherwise, I'm going to skedaddle, and I will see you guys in a later video. Peace. Hey, group 3, let's get started with your tarot card reading all about, is this connection with your person worth fighting for? So let's lay your cards and we will get started. We have Goddess, and we have Rebel. We have the Sun for your astro cards, Cancer, and Saturn to get us started. So first off, I'm getting that you guys are like an emblem of beauty to this person, and you embody a lot of the characteristics and qualities that are going to help get them out of a space, maybe a place in their head, you know, etc., that they just don't want to be anymore. With this Rebel here, I feel like, you know, this person is very inspired to change and to be different, but it says rejects legitimate authority out of anger, rebels out of peer pressure or fashion. So as much as they are this rebel energy, I do feel like at times they can choose to rebel against you and what you I have to say, even though it's actually the answer to like the things that they want, you know, I feel like you guys are a very powerful energy to this person, especially with the Goddess here, the Sun, Cancer, Saturn. I mean, you guys are a very stable, feminine energy in this person's life, whether you're male or female. You just have a very nurturing, empathetic energy to you that I think is bringing out some, I don't know, maybe challenging parts of this person that makes them kind of confront a more rebellious side of themselves. Like a rebel without a cause, though, is what I'm getting to, though. So I get where you guys are coming from. I feel like kind of questioning, is this relationship worth fighting for? Because I feel like you guys really do show up in your brightest light and your brightest essence, trying to be your divine feminine selves. And I just feel like it's not always easy for this person to reciprocate or even really understand. They can be kind of cold and like hard-headed about things, you know, not really wanting to get into this more, I don't know, sensual part of life. But I think that you guys actually are very helpful people at just helping this person restructure their life around a more softer, empathetic, feminine quality. So I think that this relationship does seem to be worth fighting for. However, I think this person needs to do more of the fighting on their part, you know, because they're fighting something within themselves. So I think you just need to keep shining your light and doing your damn thing, and this person will catch up eventually, is kind of what I'm getting here. Now, especially with the Goddess here, I do feel like you can be a little bit of a distraction to this person for some reason. So that's a random message to come up, but I do feel like you kind of steer their mind away from things. And like I said, it's almost like the structure that they're following is part of that, but at the same time is when I think they get on the right track, even then, like, it can kind of, you know, your energy spills into theirs a little bit and might get them a little confused. So I feel like, again, for this connection, you guys, like I said, it is worth fighting for, because this person has a lot to learn from you. And I feel like you honestly have a lot to gain from them too, in terms of like a good counterpart, as somebody who can help test you a little bit, because I feel like you guys can be really stuck in your own ways and enjoy, you know, the luxury that you've created for yourself and not really want to expand past that. But you guys challenge each other in like the perfect kind of way that I think gets you out of your own stuck spaces and into places you actually want to be, and that you feel like you've deserved all along, you know? This is cute. Honestly, I feel like you guys are a really good match. I just think that sometimes you guys have a hard time at really like getting to that emotional, nurturing, like just compassionate, empathetic space that is really necessary for the deepening of this connection. So very interesting. Let's pull some more cards for you guys. We have the 9 of Pentacles here, the 10 of Cups, the Chariot in reverse, and the Sun in reverse. Interesting. The Sun here twice. So, oh, and the Cancer is the Chariot energy too. So that's very interesting. I feel like this whole Sun and Cancer energy, like I said, that perfect counterpart, but also being able to shine light on things that you guys really need to figure out for yourselves in order to, like I said, get the happiness that you want out of life, get the fulfillment you want out of life. You know, there's some structures here that need to be kind of tampered with and messed with a little bit to get to their most strong yet fluid type space, which, you know, that seems like it's two opposites, but I feel like this is kind of what needs to happen for whatever reason, like the blending of those two opposites with the Chariot here in reverse, the Sun being in reverse. I mean, this to me, like I said, is those two opposites needing to be blend together and understood, that, you know, no matter if you're standing in your own light or standing together, you know, there's still so much power to be found in this connection, I feel like. Yeah, because you guys definitely have like two different modes of operation, where one person is, you know, more in their own element, doing their own thing, and one person is more so focused on building a happy, stable, complete family life, I feel like. And I think that duality actually stands a really good you know, place for you guys, because you're also able to help each other out in that regard, you know. You guys kind of fill in the missing pieces for each other, but in that same time, you help each other, you know, build up what you need to so you can fill in that piece for yourself. It's kind of like, you know, an in the meantime fix, but I don't feel like it's unhealthy or anything like that. I just feel like you guys really know how to, I don't know, like, this is a very funny energy of like feminine energy. It can be kind of controlling, but if you don't think about it in a misogynistic way, you can think of the controlling feminine energy as being directing, you know? It's giving you kind of a sense of purpose. My boyfriend has always said that feminine energy has acted like eyes for him, you know? Like he's willing to do things and to create things, but he doesn't really know where to put that kind of energy. And so thus he's learned from this feminine energy, from like this goddess energy that I'm talking to here, you know, where to put this rebellion, where to put this breakthrough energy, basically, is what it boils down to. So I feel like this person really does want to, you know, take a part in this relationship and value the things that you are letting them know that should be valued. Because I think you really do turn this person's world upside down in a way that they're like, I don't know, they're excited about it. Honestly, I feel like this person doesn't really get a feel like this from other places. So when they see you in your light doing your thing, like I said, it provides almost like a fill-in gap for them to actually start doing that for themselves. You know, they have like a mentor or a role model to follow in that regard, and vice versa too. Because like I said, I feel like this person helps you get out of like your cycling ways, you know, your habitual ways, the things that you do all the time. I feel like they help you kind of get out of any kind of rut that you might be stuck in because of that. And that really, really helps you guys out. I just feel like this is a very happy and healthy connection. Obviously, this is a general reading, so, you know, take that as it resonates. But I do just feel like this is worth fighting for, as long as you guys are willing to merge the energies as they come up. You know, don't be so strong in your own way that you're unwilling to accept the other person's way. And I think you guys are golden. But we have, don't talk to anyone, don't look at anyone. You need some time alone, and you know why. So yeah, I mean, maybe you've been helping this person out too much to figure things out. Or maybe, like I said, they can be a little bit of a rebel without a cause and not really know where they need to put their energy. So I think maybe if you do, you know, need time to pull back, or just, I don't know, establish yourself away from maybe their hopes, dreams, and goals, that could be helpful for this connection. Because sometimes, you know, when, like I said, as I feel like you're very helpful to them and you know how to help them put their energy in certain places, but you still need time for yourself to know where you want to put things. You know, it's funny, we just don't think about how much we get affected by other people's energies, especially if it's like a significant other or a friend or family member, you know, people that are closer to us and in our inner circle. We don't realize how much they can actually influence us and, you know, our being and our energy and our ability to kind of radiate positively. So I do feel like you are getting kind of the message here that if you feel a little overwhelmed with fighting too much for this connection, to maybe not fight so much for this connection and give yourself space for sure. But oh my God, we have rebel again. That is so funny. It says because fuck it. So yeah, I mean, definitely you guys are the type where it's like you guys versus the world, I feel like. And that type of relationship really, you know, can be used in a very good way. Like, you guys can change the world, you know, because it's not like you're on your own and nobody can, like, understand that. Like, I feel like this person actually really does understand it, as much as I feel like they might try to, like, rebel against you sometimes, you know. And that's where I'm like, you know, this whole don't talk to anyone, don't look at anyone. Like, sometimes you just need to be in your own energy so you can truly rebel against anything, you know, things that you know that you truly need to. Because with Saturn here, you know, this is energy that, like, it's like a karmic lesson. Like, you have to do this to learn your lesson. So I feel like for you guys, you know, you have to learn kind of like the balance between when to do things your way and when to do things a new way, and challenge the status quo a little bit. Whereas this person, I feel like, is also in a similar predicament, but like I said, I feel like they might attack you sometimes and come after you sometimes, just because you are more of this feminine energy that will take it. But I feel like that's what I'm saying here is, like, the kind of advice that you're getting here is, like, when you step away and you don't let this person kind of troll you when you're not really ready to fight back, I suppose, not fight back necessarily, but to, like, handle this whole rebel energy, you know, that actually helps you a lot to get on, like, a clear space, so you can actually help this person thoroughly and not be affected by it so much, and not also have them affected by your energy, because like I said, you can be very distracting to this person, in this. I think that probably happens most often when you aren't in your own energy, you know, you're thinking too much about other people or looking at what they're doing so much. And that's, you know, the downside of this feminine energy. But like I said, I feel like this is almost because people look to you so much, that it really takes you kind of going in your own space and kind of going away from people. This gives me like new moon energy. So yeah, I mean, around the new moon, even if that's like a ritual that you do where you're like, okay, I need to like retreat for just a couple days to kind of get my energy right, and I'll be back around to help everybody else later. But I feel like that's definitely what you have going on right now. We also have get out of your head too. So if this is one of those relationships where you just kind of, I feel like you might implode, you know, like I said, you deal with all of this stuff. You're being the structure, the main person on the outside, helping everybody with everything. So you might just kind of hold this resentment or just feel kind of really strained by the energy. But I think that's the best thing here is, like it says, get out of your head, do something with your energy. Don't, you know, try to rebel against this person, or don't get upset when they rebel against you. Just realize that, like, hey, maybe I should just go in my own separate energy for a little bit, and that might help. Pulling some more cards, though, to finish up this reading about is this connection worth fighting for. We have animals and actor and celebrity. So interesting. So I do feel like this person wants to be a lot like you. Like I said, they have a lot to learn from you and you them. And I think you guys, like I said, just emulate greatness to each other. You guys may have some like midheaven or Saturn synastry, but basically you guys are helping each other grow in a way that you wouldn't have been able to grow if you were within your constraints of how you were already doing things. So you guys know how to like enable this more primal side of you that has to, like I said, get out of their own head, get out of their own way, get out of each other's way, and just kind of do you. But not from a place that is resentful to the other person. If anything, it's like, hey, you shut up, I'll show you how we have to do this, and then, you know, we can move along, basically. So overall, group 3, I do feel like this connection is worth fighting for because it's helping you grow more into your own power, into your own strength. You know, you're embodying a feminine energy that is more stronger and stable than it was before, because it's coming from a place that can be tested and can be kind of provoked in a way, but will adjust to any kind of stimulation. You know, you're somebody that knows how to ride the wave and make that wave work for you. You know, Cancer, Saturn, Sun energy, this to me is like you are somebody who, you know, can take the ups and downs of life and just kind of learn to make them work for you instead of against you. And in that regard, you know, this relationship is worth fighting for because I do feel like it's showing you a quality that I don't think you would naturally want to embody unless you saw how well it actually works for you and how much it's almost needed at times, because it gets part of you going that helps you rebel, you know? Sometimes other people's rebellion gets you in that place where you're like, you know what? maybe I can make a change. Maybe I can do something different, you know? If you're going to act in this way because fuck it, you know, we're going to do the same kind of thing, and I'm going to stand in my power. It's pretty much just being able to enable this sense of your own strength and your own impact in situations, and then just being like, yep, that's right, I did what I did. So group 3, I hope this message resonated for you guys. If it did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, and of course subscribe to my channel for more intuitively channeled messages from me. But if you would like extra pick a card readings or personal readings from me, check out the link below to my Instagram or Patreon for those. Otherwise, I'm going to skedaddle, and I'll see you guys in a later video. Peace.